we are going to talk about resistance. All kinds of resistance, from horses, from people, but within that, there's all kinds of types of resistance as well. We're going to focus on how to truly give your horse what he or she needs, and how to make riding enjoyable rather than fearful. How to shift your own beliefs around confidence and riding. Hi, my name is Adderson, and I'm the founder of Harmony for the Horse. All right, so I have a question for you to start with. What is the resistance that you most need help with? Okay, so it's like, if I could just deal with this one thing, then everything would be all right between myself and my horse. So how to overcome a resistant horse? Let's get into this. If you followed me for any time at all, any length of time, you'll know that all of my work in Harmony for the Horse starts from within. It starts inside of us. And if it's resistance from your horse, the first place that you can look, and there are lots of ways you can approach this, but the first place I like to look is to identify our own resistance. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself, what is my resistance to having a spooky horse? For example, what is my resistance to my horse's resistance? Whatever that may be. My horse is having trouble bending right. My horse is acting up all the time. My horse doesn't like to be alone. What is my resistance to my horse's resistance? I want you to find your truth here. That's what it's all about. Because when you find your truth, then you can find your horse's truth, and then you can sort out your problems. You need to take time to do this, though. When you do this, when you're asking yourself, what is my resistance to my horse's resistance? It's not enough just to have the thought or to ask the question intellectually. What we need to do is we need to get into the feeling of it. We need to feel into what that feels like. What does our resistance feel like to us? What does it feel like in our bodies? Because it's easy, the thought part of it, the intellectual part, is easy for us to have. What's more difficult and more evasive, but actually has more power, is the subconscious and what's within our body. Where is it contained in our body? And so that's when we get into the feeling of it, is when we tap into what's inside our bodies. You really need to feel it. And if you're just in the thought process of it, you might find yourself saying something like, oh, I know that doesn't make sense, or that doesn't matter, or things like this. But once you let yourself go deeper, then you'll start to get some different answers. Your mind knows, but your body still has the resistance. And when you have the resistance still in your body, that's when you may feel like crying, or you may feel like vomiting at the thought of going to ride your horse on a day that's windy, perhaps. Or you may feel like quitting. I was just talking to someone this morning about how she felt like quitting with some horses that she rides, but not all horses that she rides. Okay, so when you get these feelings, that's when you know that there is a resistance within your body. And if you don't have your body on board with you, with your mind, in other words, if you don't have your subconscious on board with your conscious, it'll be very difficult for you to do anything with your horse consistently and well. The next thing I want to talk to you about, do you look at this as a resistance or an opportunity? When you're with your horse and things aren't going as you want, they're not going exactly as you'd planned, and something has come up out of the blue which has upset your horse, are you seeing this as a resistance Or are you seeing it as an opportunity to learn? Because if you see it as an opportunity, as a means of communication with your horse, or a means to build trust, or a way to listen, a way to connect, any of these things, a way to understand better, if you're seeing it as these things, then this is how you can truly give your horse what he or she needs. And you may think that this is a stupid question. You may be saying to yourself, oh, this is just semantics. It doesn't matter. It's not. It's about the energy of your intention, the energy behind the intention of what you do, which is what horses pick up on so well. But when you know that this is about an opportunity rather than a resistance, then there's a different energy. Whereas if you're thinking, oh, not this again, my horse is rearing, or my horse is whinnying to get back to his friends, and you're busy saying to yourself, oh, I hate it when this happens. There's a different energy behind that intention, isn't there? And the horse knows that. When you really feel into yourself, which is it? It frustrates me so much when I feel scared to ride my horse. So I'm going to find out how to get down to the bottom of all of this. And where is the understanding in the whole body, in my whole body? Not just parts, but I'm open to whatever happens. You see the difference? So this is really interesting because if you have a resistance, it will make you do things that are outside of what you would normally do. So they're things that are out of alignment of who you are. And this is where it will not be helpful to you at all, because you don't want to be in that position or in that place of acting out of alignment of who you really are. You want instead to create a partnership, co-creation with your horse, where the responsibility is of horse and rider, and it's shared. One takeaway for this training, if you get nothing else from this, this is what I want you to write down. This is what I want you to take away from this. And it is that you melt resistance, whether it's with you, whether it's your horse, with this one thing, which is curiosity. And this is for everything. It's curiosity. That means ask questions. That means don't block what is being presented to you. When you feel like you have to block, or you're saying, oh, not this again. I don't want to deal with this horse, or I'm too scared to get on. Rather than blocking that, become curious and ask yourself questions. Listen with curiosity rather than push back, in other words. When you start pushing back, then that stops the process completely. And I want to give you an example of a student who's in our program. And she loves her horse dearly and has totally good intentions, she thinks, or she thought. But underneath, she had that lack of curiosity and the resistance that stayed there, that lingered there, that she didn't even know was there until we helped her and showed her that it was there. And so how this was coming out with her horse was that she had busyness happening, right? Her hands were really busy. And she had done a lot with horses over many years and been taught a lot. So she was trying to apply all that she was being taught, and adding this and adding that and trying this and trying that and adding to all of this busyness, so that when she put her hands on the reins, her horse started to get really uptight all the time. There was being really mouthy, being anxious behavior. And it was just her horse saying to her, it's too much noise. I'm trying to concentrate and I can't concentrate. It's just too much. So when we helped her to see that, when we helped her to see what her intention was behind what she was doing, and helped her to see that it was an opportunity rather than a resistance that was coming from her horse, then things really started to change. She found that she could ground herself, she could stand, she could be in a place of power, and the horse started to change because the feeling in her hands started to change. So we taught her how to feel, basically, through working from the inside. And basically, her horse also was saying, I'm asking for space to come to my own conclusion. So this rider was doing so much, this, that, and everything, that there was not enough space for the horse to find a conclusion, to give an answer, and then the rider to receive the answer, and then for the two of them to choose which answer was the best one, the one that suited the best for that situation. So we need to create space. We need to create a container. It may be different words that you haven't heard before, but my job here is to give you a different outlook on this. We want to create the container for our horses. And sometimes horses get to the place where they don't trust. Because of experiences, they maybe don't trust themselves. They maybe don't trust their rider, and they're saying to themselves, okay, I've done this before. I know what happens. It didn't feel good. So I don't know the way out. If this resistance or this behavior is met with curiosity, then we're able to find the solution. Just like for when we're in our riding and we have problems that we don't know how to solve. So then she started to get results more and more and more. And that's when we start to ask even deeper questions. What's going on? And so the rider can then access her truth. And that's what this is all about, because when the rider accesses her truth, she can then access the horse's truth from curiosity, from questions. And then that's when we can get into the techniques. Then that's when we can be specific and clear, and we can hone into exactly what techniques will help that horse and rider pair to get what they need, to get the self-carriage, to get the results that they want, to get the harmony and the partnership that they're looking for, the bond and the communion. So everyone feels safe. So let me know if that resonates with you. Let me know if you would like to get support this way in becoming a better rider for your horse, or understanding your horse perhaps better, or dealing with fear and confidence so that you can own your power. There'll be a link somewhere around this video for you to click where we can get together and we can chat and we can find out. And I will see you next time. Okay, bye for now.